It's the final home match of the regular season for Marquette Volleyball inside the Al McGuire Center. Welcome to a production of GoMarquette.com and MarquetteWire.org. It's the Golden Eagles taking on the Villanova Wildcats. And I'd like to welcome you to our broadcast table. I'm Andrew Goldstein. I'll be your play-by-play man for the evening. I'm here with color commentator Chris Reisner and sideline reporter John Steppe. We'll be hearing from both of them in just a bit, but I want to get you all caught up to speed on where both of these teams are. First of all, Marquette Golden Eagles entering at 19-8 overall, 13-3 in Big East play. Villanova Wildcats just a notch below them, 16-10 overall, 9-6 inside the conference. Both of them mopped up their opposition last night. Golden Eagles defeating the Georgetown Hoyas 25-12, 25-9, and 25-18. Villanova mopping up DePaul 25-20, 25-20, and 25-16. This is the second time these teams have played. The first time, Villanova beat them in 5 sets in their own building on their own campus. So a lot at stake here. The Golden Eagles can clinch the number 2 seed in the conference with a win and a Butler loss against Creighton tonight. Villanova tied for 4th, fighting for their playoff lives. Should be a good one. Chris, how you doing tonight?
I'm great, Andrew. Pleasure to be here, by the way. We should mention to the fans that it's your last volleyball play-by-play broadcast.
Oh, don't mention it. I'm going to tear up. You're making me cry already. I promised myself I wouldn't until like the 3rd set.
Well, just the fact that we have some Big East volleyball to watch should cheer you up. It's a cold night here in Milwaukee, but any night's a good night for some Big East volleyball, am I right?
Absolutely. Well, for more analysis on what's going to happen, as well as some extra motivation for Marquette going into the match, we go to our sideline reporter, John Steppe. John, what do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. Andrew, quite an emotional day for you, but for Marquette, it is really a matter of an extra emphasis. Last time they played, they lost in their 5th set at Villanova, so some extra meaning there, and also some RPI meaning here. Marquette currently ranked 33rd in RPI entering this week. That should be good enough for the tournament, but no guarantees there. Last year, the highest ranked team to not make the tournament was Georgia Tech at number 49. Back to you guys.
Significant match indeed. And we have 2 players we're going to be keeping an eye on, one on both sides. Jenna Rosenthal for Marquette and Mallory Potts for Villanova. So let's start with Marquette. Jenna Rosenthal was blistering the ball last night. 13 kills, only 1 error through 3 sets. What'd you like about her performance?
Well, I think Jenna Rosenthal, obviously one of the key contributors on this team. She's been a little overshadowed from Allie Barber this season, but she really in this second half of the season has come alive. We saw last night 13 kills, only 1 error. And her presence at the net in the front court tonight is going to be huge. That 6'6" frame causes any team trouble.
Well, before we get to Mallory Potts for Villanova, we should mention that it is senior night here at the Al McGuire Center. The Golden Eagles have only 1 senior, and it's defensive specialist Manon Geoffroy out of Metz, France. Her father actually came all the way over from France to be with her on senior night. Her mother could not make the trip, but will be with her on graduation day. Spent her first 2 years at San Jacinto Community College in Pasadena, Texas. Became known to her friends and teammates as Minnie. Played all over the back line this year, enjoying a well-deserved round of applause. She'll play a key part for Marquette as the stretch run approaches. But now to get back to this match, Mallory Potts for Villanova tore the ball last time these 2 teams played. 21 kills. That was a team high, actually a match high, led all Marquette attackers as well. So what does Marquette need to do to slow down Mallory Potts?
Well, you said it, Andrew. Last time she was a force to be reckoned with against Marquette. She's got to be full of confidence coming into this matchup. She's 11th best kills per set in the Big East at this moment with over 3. I think Marquette needs to just control the front court. The presence of Allie Barber and Jenna Rosenthal up there, they need to focus defensively to stifle her at the net.
Well, we'll see if it happens in the next 5 or so minutes, but for the moment, we will stand for the national anthem and bring you opening lineups just before the first serve. Stay with us.
At this time, let's keep things rise and move your caps as we honor America with the play of our national anthem. Performed tonight by the Marquette Net Band, directed by Lindsay Holy.
And we're back here on MarquetteWire.org and GoMarquette.com. Andrew Goldstein, Chris Reisner, John Steppe. We should also shout out Tom Hillmeyer, our director for the evening, and our entire hard-working production crew. Without them, this broadcast does not happen. So it's about time to get you all some starting lineups. They're in the process of being introduced now, but through the wonders of our iPad, we have them in front of us. So for Villanova, Remy Fairchild will be starting at outside hitter. Fairchild had a pretty good match against DePaul. 13 kills, 11 digs, double-double there. Emma Decker starting at setter. She set a career high in assists the last time Villanova played Marquette. She had 62 of them. Maya Massenberg starting at middle blocker, the redshirt freshman out of Glen Allen, Virginia. Reagan Lowe, the sophomore from Riverside, California, going out there at defensive specialist. Occasionally she starts a libero. This time she's a defensive specialist. Darcy Wolf at outside hitter out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. Amanda Peterson-Henry will be joining her, a middle blocker out of Murrieta, California. And finally, at libero, Allison Fitzgerald, the senior out of St. Louis. The last time Marquette and Villanova played, Fitzgerald had 30 digs as she got to a lot of tough Marquette attacks. And now turning to the Marquette Golden Eagles, Manon Geoffroy, the lone senior, will be starting at defensive specialist. Lauren Speckman, the sophomore out of San Jose, California, will be starting at setter. She's top 5 in the nation in assists per set. She's got 11.88, just shy of 12. Jenna Rosenthal, the 6'6 middle blocker out of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, will be starting. Madeline Mosier will be playing outside hitter to start things off. She hasn't gotten a whole lot of starts this year, but she got the start yesterday against Georgetown, accounted for herself quite well, couple of service aces. Anna Hawk, the junior out of Ängelholm, Sweden, is coming out to start at outside hitter. And Elizabeth Orff will be at middle blocker. And joining them all, Martha Kanavadoff, the libero out of Sugar Grove, Illinois. Interesting to note, Chris, no Allie Barber in the starting lineup for the second consecutive evening.
Yeah, you've got to wonder, Andrew. Allie Barber, one of the front runners this season for Big East Player of the Year. It's a question mark. Maybe she's not exactly 100% healthy. Not sure exactly why Coach Tice doesn't have her in the lineup.
Well, last night she didn't start in the lineup either. She checked in after a couple points, and she blasted her way to another double-digit kill game. So we will have to see if the same thing happens here. It's not exactly an uncommon move for him to pull Allie Barber from the starting lineup. Maybe he's just waiting for a favorable rotation. By the way, we should spare a word for both coaching staffs. Ryan Tice for Marquette is in his 4th season, and Josh Steinbach for Villanova is in his 11th.
And what a job Steinbach has done in his time here. He won Big East Coach of the Year his first season when he took over Villanova, and since then he's turned them to a very respectable program, having a lot of success every single year in the Big East.
Jill Loris and Amy Pauley are Steinbach's assistants. Megan Keck and Ryan Lengerich are Ryan Tice's assistants. So it's a fairly full house for this final match of the regular season as both teams shake hands, wish each other pleasantries, and prepare to start things off. The Golden Eagles can clinch the number 2 spot in the Big East with a victory and a Butler loss. Villanova, on the other hand, is tied with Seton Hall for 4th, still has to play Marquette and Creighton in 2 of its final 3. So a W against the Golden Eagles would go a long way towards securing their postseason hopes.
And as our sideline reporter John Steppe elaborated earlier, Marquette looks to be in good position for an NCAA tournament berth, but you never want to leave it up to the committee. They're still going to be playing hard out there to try and cement that berth and get the best seed possible.
Well, the Golden Eagles have not finished in the top 30 in RPI in any of head coach Ryan Tice's 3 seasons prior to this, although they have gotten close, 33 in his first year. And one would imagine if the Golden Eagles win out in the regular season and account for themselves well in the Big East tournament with at least 1 win, they may get to that 30-win threshold. And it's not just getting in the tournament for Marquette. Every win, every slight improvement in the RPI gets you a slightly easier region matchup for your second game. Last year, Marquette barely crept into the tournament and had to go at Wisconsin. They lost their first match against Washington State, so it didn't end up mattering, but had they won that one, they would have had to go against one of the best teams in the country. The Golden Eagles might like a slightly more favorable matchup this year. So an important match ready to get started. Allison Fitzgerald, the libero for Villanova, back to serve. Dug out by Geoffroy, up to Speckman. Feint from Rosenthal. The attack from Mosier finds the floor. So Madeline Mosier, who ended last night's match with a kill, starts this one with the same. Golden Eagles on the board.
Madeline Mosier, the sophomore from Waterloo, Wisconsin, hasn't seen a whole lot of minutes this year, but when she's in there, she sure does make them count.
Well, she's got the jump serve. She's the only one on Marquette who regularly uses it. Speckman setting for Rosenthal right up against the net, kept alive by Peterson-Henry. Now Peterson-Henry transitioning to offense. Wonderful dig out there by Anna Hawk. That'll be an overpass. Decker, and through the teeth of the block is Maya Massenberg. And Massenberg promptly checks out of the match. Her work done for now. Sarah Ullman, the freshman out of Manhattan Beach, California, checks in to serve. Ullman played her club ball at Sunshine South Bay, a top 50 club volleyball team. A lot of them are out in California. Lauren Speckman came from NorCal, and she sets it up there for Anna Hawk. 2-1 Golden Eagles. Allie Barber, there's Barber. She checks in for Manon Geoffroy.
Yeah, we didn't see her on the bench for long, that's for sure.
So maybe Coach Tice was just waiting until the Golden Eagles got into a favorable rotation to check Barber in. After all, you want her starting on that left pin. That's where she does the lion's share of her work. Although she gets a little bit too handsy there, reaches over the net. That'll be a Villanova point.
Just a theory, perhaps Coach Ryan Tice is bringing Allie Barber off the bench these past two games to provide a little more of a scoring threat off the bench, if you know what I'm saying.
Allie Olzanowski checks in to the front row for Villanova. Serve smacked over by Fairchild. Speckman's got to run a long way for that one. Barber tip dug out by Ullman. Up to Peterson-Henry, puts it over a triple block. They all jumped way too early. Peterson-Henry on the board with her first kill. Amanda Peterson-Henry, one of two players to play in every set for Villanova. Speckman trying for the setter dump. Ullman's there. Olsonowski rips it. Nice dig by Anna Hawk, who's getting a lot of defensive work lately. Barber right up against the net, and she negotiates it wonderfully.
Makes up for that early error right there with the net violation. Allie Barber gets it on the board.
Jenna Rosenthal now back to serve. We mentioned how efficient she was last night. Georgetown's block didn't really offer a lot of opposition. Golden Eagles outblocked them 9-2. Fairchild to Rosenthal. Almost lost control of that dig. Speckman was nearly in the net on that set. Peterson-Henry, tip shot, and that'll be her second kill. So the block jumping too early on both of those Peterson-Henry attack attempts.
Peterson-Henry with 2 points already. She's actually more known for her defense. She leads this Villanova team in blocks, but she's showing the offensive abilities early.
Darcy Wolf checking in. Allison Fitzgerald will take a seat. That dig goes sideways from Mosier. Allie Barber rips it through the block, but that's an overpass. Well placed. Allie Barber's going to have to try it again. And that's a wonderful dump from Emma Decker. 5-3 Villanova. Decker actually had 5 of those last night in Villanova's victory over DePaul.
And you see this Villanova's team's ability to handle defensively. They like to play that defense, get the ball in the air, just keep it alive, make those long rallies back and forth.
Peterson-Henry on the serve again. And that is double contact on Lauren Speckman. She had 2 of those penalties last night. So the Wildcats are up 6-3, and Marquette head coach Ryan Tice says, I have seen enough of this.
Yeah, an early timeout. I have to say, Andrew, early in warmups, it seemed Marquette was a little sluggish. They're a little sloppy with their serves, a lot of them going out of bounds. Maybe they weren't 100% focused to start this game. Hopefully Ryan Tice can get them focused after this timeout.
The Golden Eagles started off so hot against the Georgetown Hoyas last night, and they've come out entirely the opposite against Villanova, at least through 9 points. Is this what you expected?
Not at all, Andrew. I expected Marquette to come out firing. I think if you're Marquette, you have to have some added motivation knowing that you lost to Villanova last time. Villanova handed them their first loss in the Big East this season after they had a monstrous win over Creighton, one of the best teams in the entire country. So I did not expect Marquette to have this slow start.
Well, the Golden Eagles certainly have to think of something to get together here. Hitting .333 early on. Villanova hitting .500. On the year, the Wildcats are hitting a pedestrian .236 right there in the middle of the conference. Golden Eagles hitting .275, second only to Creighton in the Big East rankings.
And again, a big matchup with a Butler loss. As you said, Marquette could clinch the 2 seed and set them up favorably for a potential Big East championship match with Creighton.
Although the entire Big East tournament is in their own building. It's in the Al McGuire Center over Thanksgiving weekend. So the Golden Eagles have already gotten in. They're going to be playing a de facto home match no matter who they play. As Speckman sets it up for Orff, and Orff puts that one right on the face of Amanda Peterson-Henry. Look out, she had to shield it with her hands.
She had some oomph on that one, Andrew.
Lauren Speckman back to serve. She leads the team with 36 service errors. She is an aggressive server and make that 37. She sends it long. Wildcats up 7-4 as Emma Decker goes back to serve. Maya Massenberg checking in. She redshirted last season, reaping the benefits of it this year. And Decker gets a service ace. That one looked out to me, and Coach Tice agrees. The ball hardly reached the ground before he reached for his green challenge card. It's 8-4 Villanova. And from this angle, that ball looked clearly out.
I agree. Definitely a worthy challenge of Coach Tice.
Decker actually leads Villanova in service errors, 38 on the year. So both setters leading their team in service missteps. Marquette's one of the few teams in the Big East to have this replay technology on hand.
Decker, a versatile 6'3" setter. She's actually 4th in the entire Big East in assists per set.
She was 2nd last year. And the call's overturned. Marquette point. So it's 7-5 Villanova instead of 8-4. The Golden Eagle traipses behind our broadcast table. He seems to enjoy that one. Allie Barber now back to serve. Has 11 20-plus kill performances on the year. It's a line drive just over the net. Really good serve there. Fairchild hitting from the back row. Will be a bump set from Kanavadov. Mosier took a little something off that and gets it over the block. Just outside of the reach of Allison Fitzgerald, who was digging hard to get to that one.
Another nice play from Madeline Mosier early in this first set.
Well, Mosier's hitting a scant 123 on the year, but she turned it on last night, and one might imagine she's getting better at hitting around opposing blocks, as Barber almost gets an ace there, and Olszanowski goes off the tape and down. 8-6 Villanova. The ref saying that it went off the Marquette block. Coach Tice conferring with his team, wondering whether or not to challenge it. And the challenge card comes out again. So 2 challenges from Ryan Tice within the first 14 points. And I'll be honest, I think he's right on this one too. I didn't think anyone touched it.
I agree with you, Andrew. It didn't seem like it. If you're a fan, though, you probably aren't enjoying this pace of the game with 2 challenges so early on.
See, I think my opinion here diverges from most people's. I don't mind the game being slowed down as long as the call it's in service of a more fair and more correct call. And I think that's what's happening here. I mean, the last replay didn't take very long.
Absolutely. As long as they get the call right, that's the most important thing.
Villanova started the year with 3 consecutive victories. They enter the weekend at number 77 in RPI. Long way off from an at-large bid. Their only recourse now is basically to win the Big East tournament.
And a tall task that would be to take down Marquette or Creighton if they were to reach them in the Big East tournament.
I wonder if they're in range where maybe if they beat Marquette and Creighton in the regular season, essentially if they win out and just lose it to Creighton in the Big East title game, would that be enough to do it for Villanova? Even at that point, I'm not sure.
I'm not so sure because 64 teams in total make the NCAA tournament, and you've got to include, I believe, the 32 automatic bids. So not a whole lot of spots for them if they remain in that sort of 70 RPI range.
They're going to give the point to Villanova, so the call on the court is upheld. In my stint as an amateur referee, I'm 1 for 2.
Yeah, I guess there's a reason these men get paid to be the referees, and we're just the commentators. We're just the ones talking about the game.
We're the armchair referees. Reagan Lowe back to serve. She's from Riverside, California, but born in Sandpoint, Idaho, way up near the Canadian border.
Yeah, Reagan Lowe from a family of athletes. Her dad actually was a quarterback at Redlands University, and her mom played volleyball at Boise State.
For a lot of these players, it runs in the family. As Fairchild almost gets a kill. Instead, she'll get the next best thing, an overball. That's another overball back to Marquette's side, and Anna Hawk makes no mistake.
Anna Hawk, one of the most versatile players on this Marquette Golden Eagles squad. As you like to say, Andrew, she's a 6-rotation player. Nice kill there from Hawk.
Jenna Rosenthal is checked in. Elizabeth Orff takes a seat. And that is a service error for Martha Kanabadoff. She snaked it right inside the left antenna, but not inside the tape on the other end of the court. 9-7 Wildcats. Fitzgerald back to serve. Floater. Geoffroy's there to handle it. Throw over to Anna Hawk, and there was no block there to contest that shot.
Anna Hawk timed it perfectly, absolutely blasted it.
Anna Hawk on the board with her third kill. She's the first one to that milestone on either team. Now Madeline Mosier back to serve. Last night against Georgetown, she was on that service line for 9 straight points. Here's Peterson Henry. Tip kill to the floor, 10-8. So all 3 of Peterson Henry's points have come off of that open palm tip.
Yeah, that little finesse touch, just barely leaping it over that front line of Marquette.
Averaging 2.65 kills per set on the year. Second on Villanova. Long throw from Speckman, and Anna Hawk rears back and smacks that one down.
How about the start for Anna Hawk in this one? 3 kills already.
And now she's back at the service line looking to add to her damage count on the night. Almost did it there. That's a block, but Villanova will get another chance at it. It's Fairchild, dug out by Mosier. Speckman, throw to Allie Barber, through the block, and right onto the Terraflex. 10-all.
That's what we see all season from Allie Barber. Times it just right. That little cross-court kill. Point Marquette.
Hawks got 11 aces, 22 errors on the year. That one passed nicely. Decker, Peterson Henry on the slide attack. And that'll be a net violation on Villanova. Although it looked like it was close to being a net violation on Marquette. Allie Barber was riding the line there on that touch.
Yeah, that was my first instinct, Andrew. Very close call there.
11-10 Golden Eagles. Josh Steinbach conferring with the referee. Might we see a third challenge through the first 21 points? No, we will not. The referee has whistled play on. Hawk just over the net. Aggressive serving for the Golden Eagles, and Jenna Rosenthal smacks down the overpass. Wonderful all-around point.
Villanova couldn't quite control that dig. It was basically served on a platter for Jenna Rosenthal, who slams it for the kill.
It seems like a lot of the serves so far have been line drives just over the net, which is what you want if you're Ryan Tice. Fairchild. And now Allie Barber. Wonderful dig. Sarah Allman getting hands to that one. Mosier, Speckman, set up for Jenna Rosenthal, who had a runway and took advantage of every last step.
We're seeing some nice plays from a variety of Marquette players. Anna Hawk, Allie Barber, Jenna Rosenthal, all getting in on the action here in this first set.
Josh Steinbach will take a timeout for Villanova. Golden Eagles on a 5-0 scoring run. Actually, it's funny, the worst broadcasting mistake I ever had was sophomore year. I was doing a Marquette-Villanova volleyball game solo. I called Josh Steinbach John Schneider on air for 2 hours.
Interesting. I know a couple of John Schneiders. I went to high school with a John Schneider, played basketball with him. There's also John Schneider, the GM of the Seattle Seahawks.
He's actually the theater professor here. My roommate at the time was a theater major, so I guess that's where I got it from. I'm able to laugh about it now, but that night, when I listened to the recording, I was so angry at myself. So if Josh Steinbach or any of his extended family or friends hear this broadcast, I am sorry about that one. Fortunately, it was Marquette Radio, so I think just my parents were listening.
You know, we all make mistakes, Andrew. It's a learning process. I think Steinbach has a little bigger things worried on his mind, whether the commentators are getting his name correct.
Well, chief among those concerns are this 5-0 run Marquette is on. As Villanova breaks the timeout with Allison Fitzgerald, Sarah Allman, and Reagan Lowe in the back line. So 3 defensive specialists back there. And in the front, it's Emma Decker, Amanda Peterson-Henry, and Allie Loitz. Or excuse me, that's Remy Fairchild. As Hawk slaps it over. Peterson-Henry rears back and smacks it right into the net. 14-10 Golden Eagles. Interesting to note that Allie Loitz, who's Villanova's leading attacker, is not out on the court. We haven't seen her at all tonight. Averaging 3.32 kills per set. Usually the main offensive force for Villanova, and she is nowhere to be seen. Speckman setting to Rosenthal, and she finds the floor. 15-10 Golden Eagles. They build that run out to 7-0.
Yeah, as Rosenthal gets the kill. Interesting point, Andrew. Allie Loitz, first team All-Big East in 2015. Interesting to see why she's not in this game so far.
Remy Fairchild dug out by Hawk. Speckman set up to Allie Barber, and she puts that one right at the feet of Reagan Lowe, who can't quite get to it. 16-10 Golden Eagles. So Marquette started slow, but now they are walloping Villanova.
Yeah, I think they've started to find their groove. Allie Barber, Jenna Rosenthal, when they get a head of steam and power on that ball, there's not a whole lot the defense can do. Marquette now on a nice run here in the first set.
The Golden Eagles are battle-tested. Some of their losses have been to the best teams in the country. They took the Kentucky Wildcats to 4 sets on this floor a couple months ago. They almost went to 5 sets against the Wisconsin Badgers in their own building. They had that loss to the number 14 ranked Creighton Blue Jays last weekend. A lot of tough teams on this Marquette docket. In fact, they started out the season playing Hawaii, UCLA, and San Diego, 3 teams that were ranked at the time.
Yeah, Andrew, 6 out of the 8 losses for this Marquette Golden Eagles squad have come against teams that were ranked or currently are ranked in the country. So they're a team that's struggled against the best of the best, but they tend to take care of teams that they're supposed to beat.
And you put yourself back a couple months to where this team was entering the season. New outside hitter, new libero, new setter, new everything. And to do as well as they have against the top teams in the country, pretty impressive coaching job from Ryan Tice. Allie Barber is going to swing onto this one. Nice dig by Reagan Lowe going to her right. Peterson-Henry tries the tip. Speckman is privy to it. Barber's going to try again, and she smokes that one. Oh, Allie Barber got her body turned around in a hurry and drove off that right foot.
So much power on that ball. I think that went into the 15th row here at the Owl.
Barber on the board with kill number 5. She leads all attackers. Anna Hawk's been back on that service line for what feels like forever, although that time promptly came to an end with that service error. So the Golden Eagles hitting .600 on the match. 25 swings, 15 of them have been kills. What do you think, pretty good?
Yeah, I would say so for sure. We'll see how long that lasts.
Well, it'll be a little bit longer if Allie Barber has anything to say about it. Kill number 6. She leads the Big East with 4.86 kills per set. In fact, not only does she lead the conference, she leads the conference by almost an entire kill per set in that category. Set comes for Fairchild, dug out. Speckman up to Barber. Peterson-Henry is there. Speckman's going to be in a joust with Peterson-Henry at the net, and Peterson-Henry will win it. Kill number 4 for her. No other Wildcat has more than 1.
Looked like Elizabeth Orff was a little indecisive there, just got a touch on the ball and wasn't really enough for any of her teammates to control it.
Saying she was a little Orff balance.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry, guys. Speckman setting up for Allie Barber. Left antenna. That is a dig, but it's out of bounds. So 18-12 Golden Eagles. Allie Barber on the board with kill number 6.
And Allie Barber, has one of the best hitting percentages in the Big East. When she gets a good set and a good hit on that ball, there's really not much the defense can do.
Here's Darcy Wolf, dug out by Kanavadov. Barber, overpass. Fitzgerald, setter dump Emma Decker. Alert play by Speckman. Here's Olzanowski. Wonderful dig by Kanavadov. Hawk keeps it up. Allie Barber off the block. Darcy Wolf through the block and down for kill number 1. A marathon point ends in a Villanova kill and a much-needed one, as Maya Massenberg checks in for Sarah Allman and Emma Decker goes back to serve.
Darcy Wolf, among many multi-sport athletes we see here at the Division I level. Played basketball, softball, and track in addition to volleyball in high school.
Man, how do people have time to do all that?
I don't know, Andrew. Dedication, hard work, passion.
Elizabeth Orff hits that one wide. 19-14 Golden Eagles. Decker's still back there. And she pounds it right into the net. So it's 20-14 Marquette now, as Villanova makes its second error on the day. Interesting to note that neither of these teams have a service ace yet. Marquette has been allowing less than 3 service aces per match. Tops in the Big East in that category. And Darcy Wolf swings wide on that one, 21-14 Golden Eagles.
And Andrew, you mentioned Marquette's ability to defend the service ace. It was going to be interesting to see Allie Loitz in this one because she actually leads the entire conference in aces per set, but we haven't gotten to see her much.
There's Decker setting up to Massenberg, and Massenberg goes out of bounds. 22-14 Marquette. Important to note that Villanova has no timeouts remaining for the first set. Line drive serve. Wonderful job. Olzanowski slaps that one off the block. Now Speckman over a shoulder to Mosier. Joust at the net. Back onto Villanova's side. Decker setting up for Darcy Wolf. Dug out by Barber. Anna Hawk will take a stab at this one. That's out of bounds off the block. And Marquette's up 23-14. A 4-0 run. And that tool shot for Anna Hawk really working.
Absolutely. And after a slow start, good to see Marquette finding their groove and now with a commanding 23-14 lead here in the first set.
Another line drive serve. Oh, what a dig! Remy Fairchild saves it. She had her foot up on the chair on Villanova's bench. They're not going to get the point, but props to Remy Fairchild for a wonderful effort.
Gotta see that. Sacrificing the body.
It's 24-14 Golden Eagles. The entire Al McGuire Center crowd on its feet as Barber serves for set point. And that's an ace. Marquette's first of the match, and that'll do it for set number 1. The Golden Eagles pound Villanova 25-14.
And we were worried they looked a little sluggish coming out of the gate, but Marquette
And now we're going to go over to our sideline reporter, John Steppe, who has some analysis on what just happened. John, what can you tell us?
Thanks, guys. Allie Barber having another great game. She has had that all year, almost twice as many kills as anybody else on Marquette, and the huge lead in kills per set, but she's playing at a somewhat foreign position for her. She did not play outside hitter until college. She was in the middle actually throughout all of high school, is highly ranked in high school, 45th in the nation, but with a lot of depth in the middle, she moved to outside entering her freshman year.
Thank you very much for that report, John. We will have more from him later on. Allie Barber tore up that first set, hitting 7 kills off 17 swings. And it just seems like Marquette was going to that left pin attack over and over again, and Villanova had no answer for it.
I agree, Andrew, and as I said going into this matchup, the game was going to be controlled by who can dominate the front court, and so far it has been Marquette.
About time to get you some first set stats. Golden Eagles hit 529, Villanova hitting only 167. Marquette had 19 kills and only 1 error on 34 swings. Villanova had 8 kills and 3 errors on 30 swings. 16 of Marquette's 19 kills came with an assist attached, with Villanova's 7 of 8. No blocks for either side. Villanova is one of the worst blocking teams in the conference, averaging only 1.5, where Marquette has about 2.1 blocks per set.
And I think you can attribute a lot of that to the height discrepancy between these teams. Villanova, their tallest player at 6'3". A lot of their outside hitters and middle blockers are only 6 feet tall, which is 5-6 inches shorter than some of these Marquette players.
And when you already struggle on the block, Allie Barber is not the player you want to be playing, because not only is she 6'5", but she can jump higher than just about anyone else. So if you don't elevate at the right time, you're done. There is no chance on getting hands to that attack. Both teams have broken their huddle, getting ready for the second set to start. Madeline Mosier, Jenna Rosenthal, Anna Hawk in the front row for Marquette. Lauren Speckman, Manon Geoffroy, and Elizabeth Orff in the back row, although Orff will take a seat and Martha Knavadoff will check in. And for Villanova, Darcy Wolf, Maya Massenberg, Allison Fitzgerald, Reagan Lowe, Remy Fairchild, and Emma Decker will put their feet on the Terraflex as we begin this second set, with Martha Knavadoff back at the service line. Knavadoff has 21 matches with at least 10 digs. Rosenthal doesn't really get all of that one. Fairchild booms it right through the block. Mosier and Rosenthal didn't quite close it in time. We're off and running here in the second set.
A little bit of a regroup for Villanova after falling quite substantially in that first set. Let's see how they regroup here.
5 Wildcats with 1 kill. Amanda Peterson-Henry has 4. She's still the only player with more than 1. Nice defensive effort from Villanova. Far pin, it's Anna Hawk, and with a deadly cross-court attack, Hawk puts it on the ground.
And I believe that's 6 kills on 6 attempts in this one for Anna Hawk.
Yeah, she's pitching a perfect game so far. Oh, was I not supposed to mention that?
Oh, Andrew, you jinxed it.
Yep,
the first
announcer's
rule in
jinx.
sports.
Sorry, I've never done baseball before. I'm not well versed in this. Decker setting it up for Peterson-Henry, blocked at the net by Rosenthal and Speckman. That's the first block for either side. 2-1 Golden Eagles.
And that one, Andrew, didn't seem to have a chance. Rosenthal timed that perfectly.
They're trying to get the quick one ball to Amanda Peterson-Henry in the middle of the net. Rosenthal and Speckman read it all the way. Hard serve by Mosier. Remy Fairchild blocked away. Villanova will get another shot at it, though. Fairchild off the block. Speckman set up to Hawk. Blocked away. There goes the perfect game for her. And that's a kill for Hawk. So even though she doesn't have the same number of kills as attempts anymore, she still does pick one up on that play.
Yeah, an .875 kill percentage isn't quite bad either.
Hawk's only averaging a .183 hitting percentage on the year. 15.6% of her swings result in an error. So she's been more accurate than she has been to date. as that's a kill from Massenberg, who will promptly check out, and Sarah Ullman will come in. Ullman played both indoor volleyball and beach volleyball in high school. Guess when you're out in California, you can play both year-round. And that one goes long.
Andrew, I have a question. Do you think in California, beach volleyball is the equivalent of a sort of street basketball?
You know what? It might be. Because it's kind of like playing pickup. You just call your friends up, or really friend, because a lot of beach volleyball is 2-on-2, and just say, hey, want to go down to the beach, see who's playing today? Fairchild booms it out of bounds. Must be nice, especially when we're dealing with sub-freezing Wisconsin temperatures.
Yeah, the LA Lakers are visiting the Milwaukee Bucks here tonight. Not sure how they feel about the weather.
Hawk with a short serve. It'll elicit an overpass. Speckman setting up for Barber off the block. Remy Fairchild's getting a lot of attempts, including that one. Barber from a tough angle. The tip kill almost did it. Jenna Rosenthal, right-breaking slide attack, and she hits that one way out of bounds. The timing between Speckman and Rosenthal seemed just a little bit off this game.
It has. But when Barber and Rosenthal do get that timing with Speckman, they are a force, a trio to be reckoned with.
You mentioned Jenna Rosenthal's 6'6". It's just so hard to set someone of that height, especially when they're mobile. But Speckman did it perfectly there. Jenna Rosenthal putting it right to the floor as Kanavadov checks out for Elizabeth Orff.
And I think she heard us after a little bit of a miscue, mistiming on that last point. Comes back, times it perfectly. Kill for Jenna Rosenthal.
Rosenthal back at the service line. Interesting to note that she hardly ever served her sophomore year, or excuse me, her redshirt freshman year. Last year was her sophomore year. Even then, she didn't really start until half the year as Elizabeth Orff gets blocked away. And the volleyball rolls over to the press table. But Rosenthal's worked on her serve ever since she's gotten to Marquette, and it has kind of a sinking motion to it.
Yeah, and what incredible improvement from Jenna Rosenthal since early on this year. She didn't really earn any accolades in her redshirt freshman year. Since then, she's been named Big East All-First Team.
Barber right at Amanda Peterson-Henry, who wasn't expecting it, didn't really get in position in time, and Barber will pick up another kill.
Got to be on your toes, especially when Allie Barber is hitting the volleyball.
Last time against Villanova, Allie Barber swung 59 times.
Think her arm was tired after the game?
Oh, I would imagine so. Mosier, not a lot on that one, easily dug out by Fairchild, who gets it off the tape and down. Speckman and Hawk both had a play on it. Neither of them really moved. Now it's 7-5 Marquette. Maya Massenberg checking in. Sarah Ullman taking a seat. We were talking earlier about multi-talented athletes. Maya Massenberg, a violin player.
Interesting. I wonder if that helps her volleyball game at all.
Yeah, if it brings her peace of mind, then why not? And that is one of the weirder points I've ever seen. Anna Hawk put an overball back onto Villanova's court, and three players just stood around and looked at it.
Yeah, it looked like a bit of a miscommunication. It was like, you get it. No, you get it. And no one got it. Point Marquette.
Barber back to serve. Overball from Fairchild. Hawk sends it wide, though. A mistake from Anna Hawk in a match in which she hasn't had that many.
Yeah, right idea from Hawk. She saw some open space over there on the left side. Tried to be a little too cute with it. Goes out of bounds.
Then Geoffroy in the back row. So two specialists back there for Marquette. Geoffroy and Kanavadov. Anna Hawk joining them at left back. And Ali Olzanowski to serve. And Hawk immediately redeems herself with a kill, 9-6 Marquette.
And you gotta love the mental toughness of these Marquette players. How many times this game have we seen someone make a mistake, maybe a net violation, maybe an error, and come right back with a point?
Kanavadov on the serve. And through the net and to the floor is Remy Fairchild. Actually, I want to revisit your last point. One of the things that this staff has tried to impress on Marquette is that you are a good team. Don't let any losses or setbacks affect your attitude. That was especially a lesson after Marquette dropped the match to Creighton in 3 sets last weekend. As Anna Hawk elevates for the kill.
To quote Jay-Z, Andrew, on to the next one. That's the mentality.
I do appreciate you working Jay-Z into this broadcast in some way. But the mental fortitude is impressive for Marquette, especially for such a young team. As Mosier fires wide. But Martha Kanavidoff, the starting libero, is a freshman. Lauren Speckman is a sophomore and a first-year starter. Allie Barber, the outside hitter, it's really her first year as the lead attacker. A lot of new players on this Marquette team. So to have the kind of mental fortitude that they do, pretty impressive. Here's Rosenthal on the slide. Wonderful pancake from Fitzgerald. Setter dump from Speckman, dug out by Fitzgerald. She's all over the place. Fairchild blocked away. Fitzgerald is there. Amanda Peterson-Henry tries to tip it over. Instead, she'll tip it into the net. 11-8 Marquette, but Allison Fitzgerald deserves at least some brownie points on that play for being all over the court.
Yeah, unfortunately, Villanova couldn't get the point, but another great effort we see just to keep the ball alive. We've seen several of them so far in this one.
Last year, Fitzgerald was the only Wildcat to play all 110 sets of their season. As Fairchild fits it through the block, it didn't quite close in time. So Fairchild on the board with kill number 4, tied for the most on the Wildcats with Peterson-Henry, who's actually yet to have a kill through 20 points of this set. Speckman has to bump set it. Barber dug out by Fitzgerald. That one nearly hit the ceiling. Throw from Peterson-Henry dug out. Barber, throw to the back corner, and that one's out of bounds. The players all challenging, or all calling for Coach Tice to challenge, and he says, yeah, all right, I'll challenge that. It's pretty much a unanimous call from Marquette to pull that green challenge flag. The instant the referee called it.
And the reaction from Ashley Knight was immediately that she thought it was out of bounds. She was pleading to the referee. So it must have been very close. The fact that she was pleading alone signifies that maybe this wasn't.
Well, it's the third challenge in this match. 2 from Ryan Tice, actually all 3 from Ryan Tice. We didn't see any challenges in yesterday's match. And it'll be the second one that Ryan Tice has won. A 12-9 Golden Eagles, and the kill will be given to Allie Barber. Marquette has no more challenges this match, though. So Coach Tice has used them well, but he's used them early.
Yeah, and as we've been saying, love to see them get the call right. There's always some discussion whether it's appropriate to have instant replay challenges in sports, but they've been pretty quick in this one.
Rosenthal almost got the ace there. Fairchild with a nice overball, though. It doesn't matter. Allie Barber will become the second Golden Eagle in double digits with that one. So 10 kills for her and 10 for Anna Hawk. Rosenthal back to serve. She played in Europe with the U.S. national team this summer. Sends that one long. Played in China the year before that. Went through the training program the summer after her redshirt year down in New Orleans, which is actually Villanova's Ali Olszanowski's hometown. And Peterson-Henry smacks that one into the net. The Marquette Pep Band's going to take credit for it. They were shouting the lyrics to Smash Mouth's All-Star right at Peterson-Henry. Float serve from Speckman. A lot less on it than her serves usually have. Olszanowski blocked away by Orff. They're going to try and refocus it to the left pin. Dug out. Barber, not an ideal attack. The set comes to Olszanowski. Speckman's there. Hawk to her knees. That one's just over the net. Darcy Wolf against a double block, and she will pound it down. 14-11 Marquette. Darcy Wolf with her second kill. Wolf is the daughter of NFL player Joe Wolf,
9
Played
seasons
with the Arizona Cardinals. Went to Boston College. Decker rips that one. Mosier on the rebuttal. Decker now to Massenberg, out of bounds. And it seems like Maya Massenberg put a little bit of elevation behind that one, expecting it to go off the hands of the block. No block was there, so she ended up just sending it long.
And we've seen that she's had a couple of errors at the net. I think the presence of Hawk, Rosenthal, Barber have gotten in her head a little bit.
Barber sends that one into the net. It's Massenberg's second error on the day. Geoffroy checking in for Marquette as Olszanowski goes back to serve. Olszanowski had 9 kills on 15 swings against Marquette last season when Villanova beat them. Mosier tips it down for the kills. 16-12 Marquette. These two teams have split the season series in the last 2 seasons. Golden Eagles hoping it happens a third time here. No spin on that one from Konovidov, and it goes long. So a comedy of service errors in the Al McGuire Center. That's the 7th on the day for Marquette. Villanova with 4.
Yeah, quite a few service aces here in a short amount of time. That's always frustrating for these coaches. You want to make the other team beat you. You don't want to beat yourselves.
Mosier out of bounds. 16-14 Marquette. 6 different Golden Eagles have an error. Martha Konovidov leads the team with 2 from the service line. Speckman set up for Jenna Rosenthal, and she got just enough of that one. Jenna Rosenthal in for kill number 5 on the day. She's hitting .340 on the year, good enough for a spot in the Big East top 10. As Mosier tries the float serve, maybe not wanting to attempt a riskier serve, knowing how many errors Marquette has had. Golden Eagles try to keep that one alive, but to no avail. 17-15 Marquette. Remy Fairchild picks up the kill. Allman back to serve. Just under 2 digs per set on the year for Allman. Mosier off the tape, almost down. Instead, Peterson-Henry's going to get a shot at it, and she finds the corner. 17-16, Peterson-Henry with an artful attack. Set already going much better for Villanova. This one a long throw to the outside. It's Anna Hawk, blocked but out of bounds. So she's gotten a couple of kills off tool shots.
Yeah, even if it's not finding its way over the net, powerful enough where Villanova's not able to control it, goes out of bounds, point Marquette.
Wildcats don't have a lot of height up at the net. Emma Decker, their setter's the tallest player on the team that regularly plays. Decker over to Fairchild. And that'll be a point for Villanova. Net violation on Marquette. Well, the ref didn't say who it was by. Quite frankly, I didn't see anything. We will see our first of Ashley Knight for Villanova. Knight's the junior setter out of Omaha, Nebraska. She committed verbally to Georgia State initially, then reopened after a coaching change.
Interesting fact about Ashley Knight, Andrew. She actually has her own non-profit organization, Nets for Nets. They provide drinking water, netting for underprivileged people in Sudan.
Yeah, she held her own tournament for that in high school, raised over $20,000. An impressive humanitarian. That serve goes long for Marquette. 1 ace, 8 errors on the day for the Golden Eagles. And if Marquette ends up losing the set or even the match, they're going to have nobody to blame but themselves.
Absolutely. A bit of a sloppy second set here for them. It seems they have more errors than they do kills.
Although Villanova hands it right back to them. Amanda Peterson-Henry puts it into the net. That's service error number 2 on the day for her. Speckman back at the line. Tice describes her as the vocal leader of this team. And that's another error. Will the errors ever end?
I don't know. I hope so, Andrew.
20-19 as Emma Decker's back at the service line. She has 2 service errors on the day. This one won't be an error, it'll be an ace. So 20 all. And this set is coming right down to the wire. And Coach Tice wants a timeout.
I think Marquette was so used to the serves going out of bounds there, they weren't quite expecting it to go inbounds, resulting in an ace.
To give you an idea of how crucial service errors have been, Marquette is hitting 300 in the current set, Villanova 185. So a whole 100 percentage points plus better, and yet it's tied because of service errors.
And you got to think that's what Coach Ryan Tice is preaching to them right now. Keep the ball in play. Make Villanova beat you. Don't beat yourselves.
Quick story about Jill Loris, the assistant coach for Villanova. It's her second year on staff. She was actually a volleyball player at Dayton, and it was her kill that knocked Villanova out of the NCAA tournament 2 years ago. So she went pretty much straight from knocking Villanova out of the tournament to accepting an assistant coaching job on their staff before the next season.
That's some cool history right there. Maybe a bit of a conflict of interest.
Yeah, it had to be kind of an awkward reunion. Amy Pauley, the associate head coach, was an accomplished player in her own right. She was a setter at University of Alabama, or excuse me, a libero at University of Alabama. That Crimson Tide team made the NCAA tournament 3 times in her 4 years there. Breaking the timeout, it's Lauren Speckman, Allie Barber, Elizabeth Orff, Madeline Mosier, Anna Hawk, and Martha Konavadoff in for Marquette. Allison Fitzgerald, Maya Massenberg, Ali Olzanowski, Darcy Wolf, Remy Fairchild, and Emma Decker in for Villanova. As Mosier did not pass that one particularly well, Allie Barber is going to be easily dug out by Darcy Wolf. Olzanowski tip, blocked away. Decker sets it up for Massenberg, tough angle. Hit it right at Speckman, so someone else is going to have to do the bump set. This is a rebuttal from Fairchild, right at Speckman again. Villanova targeting Speckman in attacking very well, but it doesn't matter as Barber ends the point, 21-20 Marquette.
Quite the rally there. Villanova making this Marquette team work. But Marquette's more of a home run team, if you will, and when they get the ball to Allie Barber or Jenna Rosenthal up top, usually good things happen.
Line drive just over the net. Fitzgerald had to go to the ground for that one. Speckman set up to Elizabeth Orff. Wonderful positioning by Fitzgerald. That's an overpass. Konavadoff waving Barber off. Mosier, almost a kill. Instead, it'll be Massenberg. Konavadoff can't quite get the overhead dig. It's 21 all.
And Villanova's got to be feeling good after really struggling, especially the second half of that first set, to be tied late here in the second set.
Manel Geoffroy checks in for Barber. Marquette wins this set. They're going to have a 2-0 advantage. It was tied at 1 in their last match at halftime. Anna Hawk puts that pass a little bit too close to the antenna, but Madeline Mosier rebuts with a kill. 22-21 Marquette. Rosenthal checks in for Elizabeth Orff.
And Marquette really wants to stay composed. They had a 2-1 set lead in their last matchup against Villanova, ended up blowing that 2-1 lead. Hopefully they can keep the lead tonight.
Tip from Darcy Wolf, and Rosenthal tries to direct it back over. She ends up directing it out of bounds instead. 22 all. Amanda Peterson-Henry checks into the front row. Darcy Wolf will take a seat. Peterson-Henry has 5 kills. Back at the line is Fitzgerald. Catches the tape. Mosier out of bounds. 23-22 Villanova, and that's Mosier's second error on the evening, a costly one, as the Wildcats are now only 2 points away from taking the second set. Ryan Tice will burn his last time out.
And that's the first lead Villanova has had for quite some time.
After this match, the Golden Eagles have only one left. It's a road tilt against DePaul, who is in 9th place out of 10 teams in the conference. Just a half match ahead of the Georgetown Hoyas. Actually, DePaul and Georgetown play tonight down in Chicago. Not that the stakes are very high. But Marquette will play them to finish out their regular season slate. If the Golden Eagles hang on here and beat DePaul, they'll finish at 15-3 in conference, which is the best mark they've had under head coach Ryan Tice.
And you've got to be happy with that this season, Andrew, if you're Marquette. As you mentioned earlier, they graduated a lot of experience, a rather young team this season with Manojo Flaubing, the lone senior. And you've got to be happy with the success they've had, especially heading into next year when they return so much talent, return their entire core group of attackers. A bright future for this Marquette Golden Eagles squad.
Well, I don't know how Ryan Tice is able to just manufacture outside hitters, because everyone was wondering where the offense was going to come from after Taylor Lewis transferred to Iowa over the offseason. But he turned Allie Barber into the best attacker in the conference. Or should we say Allie Barber really turned herself into the best attacker in the conference with some help from Coach Tice. But before Lewis to Barber, it was the transition from Autumn Bailey to Taylor Lewis a couple years back. Coach Tice, one of the best hitting coaches out there. Speckman setting it up for Anna Hawk, and she catches the sideline. 23 all Marquette, and here comes the service specialist, Abby Julian, in for Madeline Mosier. Julian, the redshirt sophomore out of Lewis Center, Ohio. Olszanowski passes that one. Fairchild blocked away. Speckman keeps it up. Hawk tips it back. Fitzgerald setting up for Fairchild. Net rattled. Nobody touched it, though. Hawk off the block. Fitzgerald diving on that one. Fairchild blocked away, out of bounds. Speckman and Rosenthal were there, but they didn't quite get their bodies around to the court. Now Villanova has a chance to win the set. Madeline Mosier checking in for Abby Julian. And back to serve for Villanova's Sarah Allman. And that one's right into the net. A costly service error for Villanova, their 6th of the evening, and we have reached a deuce.
Andrew, I think it might be time to nickname this Marquette pep band the 7th man.
Not a bad idea. They were yelling at Allman. As Hawk serves it to Fitzgerald, Peterson Henry rips a kill to the corner, 25-24 Villanova. So just a little bit after they blew the last chance at a set point, they get another one. And now back to serve is Ashley Knight. She has 9 aces and 6 errors on the year. Mosier, the Speckman setting it up for Allie Barber, and that's a cross-court kill. It's 25 all.
Cool column collected there from Allie Barber. Found the open spot, nice and controlled. Big point to tie it back up here in deuce.
Konovadoff and Rosenthal check out for Marquette. Elizabeth Orff is in the front row, and Sarah Rose, the freshman setter from Elmhurst, Illinois, is in the back row. Marquette has 2 setters in at the moment. Speckman in front, Rose in back. Decker setting for Olszanowski. Hawk is there. Allie Barber to Decker. Peterson Henry with a throw, and she gets another clutch kill.
And she just placed that one perfectly in the far left corner.
There was nobody back there, and she saw it right away. Rose and Rosenthal check out. Konovadoff and Orff check in. Back to serve is Peterson Henry. Hawk with a nice pass. Speckman setting to Allie Barber off the block. Villanova's going to have a chance at a set-winning kill here. Darcy Wolf, oh, what a dig from Kanavadov. Orful directed over. Wolf dug out by Hawk. Allie Barber right up against the pin, blocked away. And that'll be a kill for Villanova, and they take the second set 27-25.
And how about the mental fortitude of Villanova after falling quite substantially in that first set to come back in the second set? No quit in this Villanova Wildcats team. They tie it up in the second set.
Emma Decker and Allie Olzanowski will get credit for the block on Allie Barber there. And that's the way we go into halftime with these teams tied 1-1, just like in their first match. So we will step aside for just a few minutes. You can take a break, go do some light calisthenics. Just be back in, call it 3 minutes for the second half of Marquette against Villanova. Stay tuned. And welcome back to the Al McGuire Center. Andrew Goldstein, Chris Reisner, and John Steppe. Golden Eagles tied at 1 set apiece with the Villanova Wildcats as this third set is ready to begin. And for more, we turn to our color analyst, John Steppe, or excuse me, our sideline reporter, John Steppe.
Thanks, guys. And this could be a historic win for Marquette. This would be win number 20 on the season. That would be their 7th straight year with 20 or more wins. The last time they didn't was actually back in 2009. To put that in perspective, Anna Hack, a freshman now at Marquette, was in 6th grade the last time Marquette did not get 20 wins. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, 3 of those years coming under Tice, 4 of those years coming under prior head coach Bon Szymanski. Anna Hawk is going to break things out with a swing and a kill. 1-0 Golden Eagles as they try and put the memory of a hard-fought second set loss behind them. Kanavadov back to serve. Coach Tice identifies her as one of the more intense players he has ever coached. Always focused, always locked in. Remy Fairchild gets blocked away. It's a lift violation anyway on Villanova.
And as you said, Andrew, that second set loss has got to hurt Marquette, especially with all the service errors they faced in that one.
Kanavadov, no spin, dug out. Set up for Mosier, light hit, dug out again by Lowe. Speckman set up for Anna Hawk, and Hawk finds the floor. 3 quick points for Marquette. You mentioned all the service errors in the second set. Golden Eagles had 6 of them. So despite out-hitting Villanova, they dropped it. Coach Tice had to be giving them a talking to at halftime. Maya Mazenberg gets the kill, immediately checking out for Allman. Coaches kind of fall into substitution patterns sometimes, and one of the ones Steinbach has established is no back row play for Massenberg. As soon as she rotates to that serving position, Sarah Allman comes right in. Hawk down the line, she gets a kill. A team high 15 for Anna Hawk. Madeline Mosier back at the service line. Let's see if she goes for a float serve or if she goes for the full-on jump serve. Seems like she'll test door number 2, and she'll get an ace out of it. We saw a couple of those serves go off last night against Georgetown, and here Madeline Mosier's on the board with her first service ace of the evening. She's going to go for another one of those. This one handled much better by Lowe. Peterson Henry through the block and down. 5-2 Marquette.
Some impressive plays from Peterson Henry in tonight's matchup.
Fairchild back to serve. Sophomore from Southlake, Texas. Born in Cleveland, went to Texas, now in Philadelphia, or a suburb of Philadelphia at least with Villanova. Fairchild is well-traveled around this country as Lauren Speckman flicks it over for the kill.
Usually we see Lauren Speckman setting up her teammates. That one takes it herself, gets the kill.
Hawk's career high in kills, at least for Marquette, is 19. She has 15 so far, something to keep an eye on as this match progresses. Barber, cross court, and that one finds the ground. So it's 7-2 Marquette. Whatever Coach Tice said at halftime, well, I want him to say it to me because it looks like it drastically improves people's performance.
Yeah, for sure. Marquette coming out hot in this third set.
Decker set up to Olszanowski, dug out, Mosier, jump set from Speckman, and Allie Barber showing off the finesse shot with a throw to the back corner. 8-2 Marquette.
Some nice versatility there from Barber after the thunderous cross-court kill. Just finesses it right over the defense.
Not a bad idea for Josh Steinbach here to call a timeout and reassemble his troops. You know, one of the things that I've really noticed Allie Barber change throughout the year is her shot diversity. She has her bread and butter, that cross-court kill from the left pin. That's nigh unblockable. But now that she's starting to add a line shot, she's starting to add a push shot too for when the block's there, she could become one of the most dangerous attackers, not only in the conference, but in the country.
Yeah, and it makes her so difficult to deal with because when she is setting up those thunderous kills, it draws so much attention from the defense. They're all swarming towards the net to try and block it, try and get a hand on it. So when they have their momentum going forward and she last second changes her mind, drops it over the back of them, makes it almost impossible to deal with.
And defenses are so scared of that cross-court shot. She hits it so hard that they're going to commit 2 blockers. They're going to jump early. She almost doesn't even need to disguise that push shot. She was named the AVCA Player of the Week 2 weeks ago. That was the weekend where she had 30 kills in Marquette's 5-set road victory over the Seton Hall Pirates. Pirates right now tied for 4th with Villanova.
And we've seen the connection from Speckman to Barber a few times in this set. Speckman leading the Big East in assists, Barber leading the Big East in kills. It's a dynamic duo right there.
Hawk with nice depth on that serve. Olszanowski responds well. She picks up a kill. That is her 2nd of the evening. Peterson-Henry pounds it directly into the net. So Villanova surrenders their gains right away. And for Peterson-Henry, that's her 3rd service error of the evening. 3 players have at least 2 for Villanova.
And in such a closely contested match like this one, that's gotta be frustrating for these teams.
Wolf to Barber. Right up against the net. Tip shot easily handled by Allman. Dump from Decker. Hawk is there to handle it, and now Allie Barber cross court. Chris, it's Allie Barber's world, and everyone else is just paying rent in it.
Yeah, that's a true statement right there, Andrew. That's been the theme all season. Every game I watch, I just feel like Allie Barber puts on a show.
Rosenthal's serve elicits an overpass, and that's a point for Marquette. Net violation from Emma Decker. She reached over to the Golden Eagles side to try and stuff Elizabeth Orff. The ref is going to call it every time. Wolf, cross court, dug out by Hawk, who actually has a double-double. 15 kills, 17 digs. Barber smokes that one right down the line. 12-3 Marquette. Oh, you can see the smoke coming off it. And that's another timeout for Josh Steinbach.
And how about the difference in competition level we've seen? First set, Marquette takes it very handedly. Second set, close all the way through, several lead changes. And now here in the third set, Marquette again, a commanding lead, 12-3.
Allie Barber had 12 kills at halftime, has 4 through the first 15 points here. In fact, all 4 of them have come within the last 7 points for Marquette. So Ali Barber was out of the match for a little while. She was waiting for a rotation. She was waiting to get on that left pin. And ever since she has, wow. Coach Tice called her unflappable when we were talking a couple weeks ago. Said that she could be attacking to win the national championship or in a mid-season game when it's 8-4 in the first set, and she'll deliver the exact same attack.
Yeah, she's just so skilled, so athletic, so powerful up there at front. And the fact that she's 6'5" doesn't hurt either.
And by the way, biomedical sciences major. Save some talent for the rest of us. Where do these players find the time to do this?
Yeah, speaking of that, this Villanova team actually has a lot of academic all-stars, if you will, on this team. 10 players on this roster are returning Big East all-academic players.
Yeah, Ali Olszanowski's an engineer. Michelle Matthews is too, on the bench for Villanova. Rosenthal, hardly any movement on that serve. Orff dumps it down, 13-3 Marquette. And you get the sense that Villanova is really missing Ali Loitz's offense right about now.
Absolutely.
Still hasn't played the senior from Bonita, California. Villanova's leading attacker on the bench. Fairchild out of bounds. It's 14-3 Golden Eagles, and the Wildcats have burned through all of their timeouts in the third set.
Yeah, now they don't have a timeout to discuss with coach to stop the bleeding. Let's see how they can respond.
3 kills and 3 errors through 13 swings for Villanova, and that's an ace from Jenna Rosenthal. 15-3 Marquette. What a one-sided thwomping this set has turned into. Decker has to retreat from the net to get that one. And Fairchild is wide. It's her second error in the last 4 points. 16-3 Marquette. Fairchild to get dinged for her 4th error.
And right now, Villanova very quiet.
Golden Eagles on an 8-0 scoring run. That one close to the net. Decker, Olszanowski blocked away. Ali Barber doing the blocking.
What a run for the Golden Eagles right now. Villanova is desperate, just trying to do anything they can to stop the bleeding.
Elizabeth Orff is going to get credited for a half of that block, so it's Orff and Barber. Marquette has 3 blocks on the day, Villanova just 2. Here's Wolf through the block. Orff and Speckman went up a little too soon, and finally, belatedly, Villanova sides out.
Gotta be a sigh of relief right there for Villanova, ending this huge run for the Golden Eagles.
Well, right now they're standing at the bottom of the Grand Canyon and looking up. Kanavidov to Speckman. Orff throwing. Decker digs it out. Fairchild dug out by Mosier. Barber blocked away. And that one's out of bounds, just barely. Oh, that looked into me. But I kind of looked over as the ball was bouncing away. Olszanowski was there. Nice thought, anyways.
Kanavidov made a leaping effort to try and save it and realized at the last second it was going out of bounds. Nice reactions there.
Barber's going to hit a slide attack, which she doesn't usually do. And that overball blocked away, but it went out of bounds. 19-4 Marquette.
Everything going Marquette's way this set.
Marquette's record for most lopsided set win is 25-7. They got in striking distance of it with a 25-9 win over Georgetown last night. And Darcy Wolf just put a dent in those chances with a kill. That's her 5th of the day. 19-5. Back to serve, Reagan Lowe. Ali Barber will confer with her staff, and this will give the Golden Eagles an opportunity to talk around with this set almost assuredly in hand. So as we mentioned, after this match, Villanova will return home for their final 2 against Creighton and Providence. Villanova probably has to get one of their final 2 matches if they don't win this one. It's an official timeout. Maybe there's a spot of sweat on the floor. So an official timeout, not really sure as to why, to be perfectly honest with you. Maybe it's a replay thing. Maybe they have to mop the court. I don't see anybody with a towel out there. But either way, this will give both teams a chance to talk things over with their respective head coaches. And for Villanova, you're basically playing out the string on this set, but it's do or die time in set number 3. And actually, it's worth mentioning that they dropped the 3rd set to Marquette in the one that they won in 5 sets a couple weeks ago.
And Marquette actually had a 2-1 set lead in that matchup.
Yeah, Golden Eagles took that 3rd set 25-21.
So if you're Marquette, you're definitely aware that you take a 2-1 set lead against Villanova, you know the last time you faced them, you ended up blowing that lead. So they're going to be extra careful of that tonight if that is the case and they end up taking this 3rd set.
Marquette leads the all-time series 13-4. Although 3 of Villanova's victories have come in the last 3 seasons. If you look at just the last 5 matches, the Wildcats hold the advantage, 3-2.
And what a disparity we've seen over the course of the last 2 sets. Only in the sport of volleyball do we have a closely contested set that easily could have gone to either team, minus a few errors, a few misses either way. And then here, just a commanding set and a dominant performance for Marquette.
It seems like some of the stoppage does have to do with the court conditions. You see some people with spray and a towel mopping up the court. Referee pointing out spots to the mopper du jour. By the way, I feel like we ought to give a game ball to that mopper on top of whoever we give it to for game MVP. Because without him, this game's not getting played. Quite honestly, I don't think I've ever seen this before because the Terraflex isn't bound to get that sweaty. It's court specifically designed for volleyball.
Perhaps it's possible there's some drops of blood on the court, not visible to the naked eye from where we're sitting.
Well, both teams have been chilling out for a couple minutes here. Last season, Marquette went 23-9, 13-5 in conference.
Elizabeth Orff doing a little dance during this break period.
He's one of the more demonstrative players on this team. Actually, Abby Julian and Sarah Rose, backup defensive specialist and backup backup setter, have taken to dancing on the sidelines during timeouts and when Marquette's doing especially well. In fact, Orff's signature celebration is the arrow. You know, pretend to pull one out of the quiver and fire it off. I kind of like it. She's got swag.
That's always a classic.
Orff, the number 45 recruit in the country out of Villa Duchesne High School in St. Louis. One of the hardest hitters in the Big East. In fact, I remember broadcasting a match here a couple months ago where she was unchallenged by a block against Kentucky and put one right off the face of defensive specialist Gabby Curry.
And how great is it for Elizabeth Orff as a freshman to get this experience and have Jenna Rosenthal take her under her wing?
Absolutely. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later, but play has resumed as Barber catches tape there. Lucky to do it after a little miscommunication with Speckman. Wolf dug out. Barber will try again with a much better ball. Decker to Massenberg, and Massenberg picks up a kill. Maya Massenberg on the board with kill number 5. No Villanova player has reached double digits. As the Wildcats try to claw back from a deficit of a baker's dozen. Speckman set up for Orff. Tip shot. Wolf off the block. Speckman setting it up for Allie Barber. And that's a kill. 20-6. And Allie Barber is closing in on her 12th 20-plus kill match this season. She's got 19.
If Marquette wants to break that record for the most one-sided set, they're going to have to go on a 5-0 run to end here.
Geoffroy on the serve. Darcy Wolf blocked by Hawk. Wolf is going to try it again. Hawk and Orfer there. Villanova is going to refocus to the left pin. Kanavidov to the ground. Hawk rears back. Fitzgerald's in position. Fairchild lances it right through the block and down. 20-7 Marquette.
Now serving number 17, Allison Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald now back to serve. Averaged over 6 digs per set in her last 2 matches over the previous weekend. And Hawk brings her stay at the service line to an abrupt end. 21-7 Marquette. Kanavidov back at the line. There's 2 errors on the day. That one almost a third. Fairchild dug out by Speckman. Villanova going after Marquette's setter hard in the attacking game, but Anna Hawk puts it down. 22-7 Marquette. Hawk has 18 kills, 1 off of her career high for Marquette. When I say career high for her, I mean her career high as a Golden Eagle, because she did transfer from University of Miami, spent 2 years as a Hurricane, originally from Ängelholm, Sweden. Fairchild gallops up, dug out by Hawk. And Hawk hits it high.
Yeah, during her time in Sweden, Anna Hawk actually led her club team to a 37-0 record and actually won a U19 gold medal in European competition.
Some international experience on this Marquette team between Hawk, German Liza Kastrup, and of course Manon Geoffroy, who hails from Metz, France. As Rosenthal puts that one down, 23-8 Marquette. And Josh Steinbach is talking with his team and the referee quite animatedly. Maybe he thought that Rosenthal or one of the other Marquette players was in the net. Regardless, Mosier is going to go back to serve. And she puts it right into the tape. 23-9 Golden Eagles, but still, if you're a coach, you never like to see those service errors. Remy Fairchild back to serve. Speckman keeps it up. Hawk out of bounds. 23-10 Golden Eagles. Hawk has committed errors on her last 2 swings. Remy Fairchild will go back. She described herself as awkwardly tall in high school. Now that height's becoming an asset. And Hawk redeems herself with a kill, and she has now tied her career high as a Golden Eagle, 24-10.
And in the absence, or a rather quiet night for Jenna Rosenthal kills-wise, only 7 so far. Anna Hawk stepping up big time, a key factor in this game.
Float serve from Hawk, and that'll be an ace. So the third set ends on a service ace from Anna Hawk, and Marquette stomps the yard against Villanova, 25-10. They take a 2-1 advantage.
Anna Hawk closing out that set, passing her career high in kills emphatically with the service ace to close out that set.
Golden Eagles up 2-1 as we will take a brief intermission from play. They'll resume playing in about 2 minutes and 40 seconds. In the meantime, our sideline reporter, John Steppe, is going to have more on Lauren Speckman, one of the players that Coach Tice called a prime communicator on this team. Steppe, please feel free to take it away.
Thanks, Andrew. And Marquette, if they want to win this one in 4 sets, will need good communication. Well, that communication could come from Lauren Speckman, a player that Coach Tice frequently compliments for her communication, the player that will even oftentimes go into his office when they think that they aren't communicating well, really the person that will go the extra mile. Back to you guys.
Speckman doing quite well this game. She has 40 assists, which has become a commonplace event for her on the season, averaging 10% this match.
And Lauren Speckman, already one of the best players on this Marquette squad. In high school, she led Archbishop Mitty High School to 3 consecutive California Division II state championships. Storied career there as well.
You know, it's funny, when she was a high school recruit, I asked her, do you think the cold weather is going to have any impact on you because you grew up in a place where that wasn't really a factor? Well, she lived in Boston for a couple of years. A lot of her family is from Wisconsin, so she says she was actually looking forward to getting back to the cold.
You mentioned 40 assists for her tonight. She actually had 57 in the last matchup against Villanova.
Yeah, highly effective player. Coach Tice had his eye on her in his previous job as head coach at University of Ohio. Speckman said she liked Coach Tice, didn't really like University of Ohio, didn't have the majors that she wanted, etc. So when Coach Tice came to Marquette to take over for Bon Szymanski when he left for his alma mater, the University of Iowa, Speckman said it was the right coach and the right team.
Coach Tice proven to be a great coach here at Marquette with this program, but you got to remember, perhaps what he's best at is being a recruiter. Back in 2008, he helped the University of Florida get the #1 recruiting class.
Yeah, he was recruiting coordinator down there for a couple years. Oddly enough, last night he was coaching against Arlissa Williams of Georgetown, who held that Florida job right before he did. So a lot of these coaches end up crossing paths at many points. It's a tight-knit community. So as we get ready for the 4th set, you see Speckman, Geoffroy, Rosenthal, Hawk, Orff, and Mosier out on the floor for Marquette, although Rosenthal will promptly take a seat for Martha Konovadoff. And for Villanova, it's Emma Decker, Ali Olzanowski, Maya Massenberg, Remy Fairchild, Allison Fitzgerald, and we're still waiting on the last one to come in. Darcy Wolf has just towed the Terraflex. By the way, we haven't really mentioned digs all game, but it's important. We do have a couple players in double-digit digs. Allison Fitzgerald has 15 for Villanova. Anna Hawk has a double-double, 18 kills, 18 digs for Marquette. And, of course, Lauren Speckman is over 10. She has a double-double as well, as Villanova has been targeting her, and she has been responding. Massenberg off the block. Konovadoff is there. Orff, dug out by Fairchild. Olzanowski down the line. Geoffroy going head over heels for that one. Massenberg tipped away. Villanova will get another shot at it, though. Fairchild with a wonderful slap shot, and we're off and running in the 4th.
Marquette not able to get that long rally, but Manon Geoffroy, no regard for self-preservation. Did a bit of a somersault leaping for that save.
That point is kind of an example of how Villanova won the last match against Marquette, prolonging points, forcing Marquette into bad shots. And you see another example right there as Madeline Mosier forced to hit into a double block. 2-0 Villanova. Reagan Lowe back to serve. When Reagan Lowe went to Martin Luther King High School, her mom was the volleyball coach. And Anna Hawk blocked away. Ali Olzanowski and Maya Massenberg in on that one. So just as Marquette started the last set with 3 straight points, Villanova captures the first 3 in this one.
And how animated was Ali Olzanowski after that block?
Very would be the answer. Speckman up against the net. Orff, tip shot and down. Maya Massenberg was anticipating a much earlier attack, so her feet were back on the floor by the time Orff got hands.
And after Villanova's strong start here in this 4th set, after a lackluster performance in the 3rd, Marquette finally gets on the board.
Konovadoff with a low serve, back over for Jenna Rosenthal. And Rosenthal always gets the most animated when she's able to dunk down those overpasses.
Yeah, got to be careful. She timed it well, but I thought from my perspective a little close to a net violation. But who am I to judge? I'm not a referee.
When you're 6'6", dunking down those overballs becomes so fun because I would imagine you're able to get to so many more of them. Fairchild off the block. Kanavidov keeps it alive. Geoffroy keeps it alive, and Hawk guides it over. What a defensive effort. Olszanowski off the block. Kanavidov there. Speckman pushes it over, and that's a kill for Marquette. Martha Kanavidov did a backwards dolphin dive to get to that one.
Yeah, excellent heart. Neither of these teams is giving up an inch. You see the hustle all over the place for this Marquette team. Gets away with the point.
And that's the kind of effort that's brought Kanavidov accolade upon accolade. She was named the Big East Defensive Player of the Week, Freshman of the Week. She's made the honor roll once or twice. Now back to serve for Villanova's Allison Fitzgerald after Fairchild delivered a kill down the left sideline. Speckman retreating back over to Hawk. That one right up against the net, and that's a point to Marquette. Double contact called on Villanova. We've seen a couple double contact calls tonight.
Yeah, in that instance, the ball went so high, I think it caused a little bit of miscommunication on Villanova. A little hard to deal with.
And Josh Steinbach is conferring with the down ref, animatedly pointing at Marquette's side, saying, no, maybe Jenna Rosenthal was over the net before the double contact. Steinbach may avail himself of the green challenge card here. In the meantime, Lauren Speckman is slapping hands with Martha Kanavidov. And Steinbach will retreat back to the sidelines as he claps his hands. Mosier with a powerful serve. Decker up to Peterson. Henry blocked away. Jenna Rosenthal. 5-4 Golden Eagles as Rosenthal picks up block number 3 on the evening. Only player on either team averaging over a block per set. Wow, the net is still shaking from that one. But Remy Fairchild puts it through for her second kill of the set, 5-all. This one already much closer than the last one.
2 beautiful kills from Fairchild in this set. She can kind of do it all. Over 190 kills on the year and over 100 digs as well.
She's especially dangerous when she's on that left pin. A lot of right-handed players prefer that left pin because their dominant hand is square to the court. Peterson Henry operating quickly off the slide attack, and the Marquette block cannot catch up. Peterson Henry putting it down for kill number 10 of the evening. She's one behind Remy Fairchild for the Villanova team lead.
3 lead changes already early on in this 4th set.
Just over the tape, Sarah Allman gets the ace. That's only Villanova's second of the evening. Geoffroy with the poor pass there.
And you don't see that often from Geoffroy. She's normally excellent at dealing with those.
Marquette facing a test here. They were up 2-1 against Villanova when the two teams played a month ago. As another poor pass from Geoffroy goes right onto the fist of Peterson Henry. It's 8-5 Villanova. Coach Tice is going to take a timeout. So the Golden Eagles were up 2-1 a month ago and then wilted when Villanova got close and started pressurizing them. Now the Golden Eagles face the same test. Will the same result ensue?
Well, Coach Tice, if he has anything to say about it, he does not want that to occur. Not sure what he's going to strategize here in this timeout, but got to give credit to Villanova after such a brutal loss in that 3rd set. Dominating performance from Marquette in the 3rd set to come out with an early 8-5 lead. It shows their mental fortitude.
Well, we haven't seen much or really any of Allie Barber through the first 13 points of this set. Although maybe that's for the best because she's already swung her arm 45 times. Coach Tice does like to direct a lot of his attacks towards one player. Taylor Lewis last year took around 40% of the team's swings.
And I think that's a big difference between these two teams. Marquette gets a lot of their production, a lot of their kills from mostly Allie Barber, Jenna Rosenthal, whereas Villanova's not really the case. It's kind of spread all around. They have a lot of players that will rack up kills.
Interesting to note that Marquette's also dealing with a little bit of injury trouble in its own right to thin its ranks. Outside hitter Hope Wirch, the freshman out of Neenah, Wisconsin, has a cast on her left leg, didn't play in yesterday's victory over Georgetown. Not in action tonight. She's wearing a hoodie over her uniform, which is usually a sign that a player is more or less inactive. So maybe Barber and Hawk need to swing a lot because of those depth issues. Either way, Sarah Allman is back at the service line for Villanova. Allman has an ace and 2 errors on the evening. Speckman right up against the net. Hawk, Fitzgerald arrives just in the nick of time. Peterson Henry blocked away. A solo swat from Jenna Rosenthal.
Jenna Rosenthal has really stepped up defensively in the second half of the season. I mentioned earlier, after not recording a whole lot of blocks in the first half, she's climbed up all the way to the top 5 in the Big East in blocks.
Well, Allie Barber has just checked in for Manon Geoffroy. She's on the left pin, so this is Marquette's most favorable rotation. Speckman's going to try and get it to her. Barber dug out by Lowe. Setter dump by Decker. Nice heads-up play by Konovadoff to dig. Barber off the block. Fitzgerald is there. Fairchild blocked away, out of bounds. So Remy Fairchild putting in yeoman's work, picking up her 3rd kill of the set.
Yeah, and the most crucial set of the game thus far for Villanova, Remy Fairchild has showed up.
Fairchild leads Villanova with 12 kills. She had 16 of them the last time these two teams played. Wolf with a tip over. Mosier's there to collect it. Speckman set outside to Allie Barber, and that's an error. It's only Barber's 2nd of the evening. It's her 48th swing. 10-6 Villanova. You get the sense that this one may be going 5.
I think Marquette's going to try and avoid that, knowing what happened last time they played Villanova.
Wolf dug out by Hawk. Speckman right up against the net. Barber off the double block and to the floor. 10-7 Villanova. Into the front row comes Elizabeth Orff. They're going to pull the libero, Martha Konovadoff. Rosenthal back at the line.
Rosenthal top 10 in service ace per set in the Big East.
Well, Orff is going to dunk that one right back down. The block got to it in time, but it was spinning out of bounds. It'll be a kill for Elizabeth Orff. Number 5 on the day, averaging 1.2 kills per set on the year. Right up against the net is Decker, punched over by Wolf. And Wolf was in the net. 10-9 Villanova. Golden Eagles have taken the last 3 points. Line drive serve. Fairchild to her knees. Wolf cross court. Dug by Hawk. Barber on the left pin, blocked away. Oh, you don't see that very often. Emma Decker and Amanda Peterson Henry's there. Maya Massenberg checking in. Barber's made 2 errors in the last 5 points. She'd made 1 error in the entire match before that.
Impressive block from Peterson Henry there. She really got up. At only 6 feet tall, she leads this Villanova Wildcat team in blocks.
Mosier over to Hawk. Overpass from Barber. Decker set up to Darcy Wolf. Diving dig from Mosier. Another tough one from Barber. Wolf cross court, and Konovadoff couldn't quite get her left fist to it. So Darcy Wolf logs another kill. 6 kills, 2 errors on 25 swings for Wolf, the junior out of Allentown. Went to Central Catholic High School, right near where I interned at WFMZ after my sophomore year.
Small world, eh?
Yeah, Speckman on the kill. Another setter dump. Her 2nd of the evening. And Decker is usually the one known for her setter dump. She had 5 of them against DePaul. Speckman flipping the script on her. Fairchild to Speckman. Konovadoff keeps it up. Orff dug out. Massenberg on the push. Barber left pin. And that one goes off the double block and to the floor. 12-11 Villanova. Punch, counterpunch. Thrust, riposte.
Yeah, a lot of give and go in this one. A lot of anything you can do, I can do better.
Just over the tape is that serve from Speckman. Massenberg through the double block. Orff and Barber couldn't quite get there in time. Not very often you see someone negotiate a double block comprising of a player who's 6'3" and a player who is 6'5". Emma Decker back at the line. She was actually teammates with former Marquette player Riley Burchet. And Barber chases her off the service line promptly. 13-12 Villanova. Barber credited with her 22nd kill. Her career high is 30. She set that against Seton Hall 2 weekends ago. Olszanowski, dug out by Hawk. Speckman up to Hawk. Decker setting tight to the pin. Speckman keeps it alive. Decker sets for Wolf again, and that's a kill. Madeline Mosier tried to keep it up, but things went awry. Manon Geoffroy will check in for Allie Barber. Villanova has a golden opportunity here with Barber checked out of the game for what will likely be this rotation and the next one. And trying to take advantage of that opportunity is Reagan Lowe. Float serve. Geoffroy with a less than ideal pass. Hawk rips it to the net. It's Orff, and Elizabeth Orff puts it down.
Yeah, difficult play by Orff, hitting it on the first touch, but she played it beautifully right in the back right corner.
Well, she couldn't get much of an angle on it because she was off the net and the ball was right on top of her. Good job by Orff of keeping that one down. Not much spin there from Kanavidov. Massenberg puts it right at Speckman. 15-13 Villanova. One thing the Wildcats are doing well is making someone else do the setting for Marquette. They're doing it by making Speckman be involved in the first touch game. Slap by Fitzgerald. Speckman right up against the net. Kanavidov guides it over. Fairchild off the block and out of bounds. 16-13 Villanova. Remy Fairchild with her 5th kill of the set. Fitzgerald will take another stab at this one. Great pass from Geoffroy. Slide attack from Rosenthal, easily handled by Decker. Reagan Lowe bump set. Olszanowski off the block. Martha Kanavidov will have to bump set for Marquette. Anna Hawk rips that one to the floor. 16-14 Villanova. Hawk timed her jump beautifully and got every single inch of that.
Yeah, absolutely emphatic exclamation point there from Anna Hawk. Beautiful kill.
Mosier's gonna jump serve. Decker, Peterson, Henry, right through the unclosed block of Rosenthal and Speckman. Rosenthal was frustrated after that one. Maybe didn't get her hand placement quite right. As Sarah Ullman checks in for Ali Olszanowski. 17-14 Villanova. Long set there for Hawk. Lowe had to hit that one right into the block. Speckman putting this one up a bit higher, and that's off the block and out of bounds. The adjustment in height made the difference for Anna Hawk. 17-15 Villanova. Allie Barber's back on the left pin.
And Anna Hawk is hyped after that one. What a performance. Probably the best of her career in a Marquette uniform for Anna Hawk.
20 kills. She has now set her Marquette high, and now she gets an ace. Miscommunication between Reagan Lowe and Allison Fitzgerald, the 2 best defensive players for Villanova. That's the 2nd ace of Anna Hawk's evening, the 13th of her season. Fairchild tips it, blocked by Rosenthal. Fairchild again, down the line and inbounds. 18-16 Wildcats, who have not relinquished the lead for this whole set. Marquette hitting 194, Villanova hitting 243 for the set. Golden Eagles hitting 342 for the match, Nova just 191. Speckman set up to Rosenthal. Nice dig out there. Rosenthal try again on a slide, and that's another wonderful dig from Allman. Barber off the tape. Fairchild saves it and directed back over from Decker. Marquette will get any shot they want here, and it'll be a Barber push and finds the corner. 18-17 Villanova.
Marquette gritted out for that point, but what impressive defense on Villanova's side. Some really nice digs.
Allman and Lowe have run the show. Lowe has 12, Allman has 10, and of course we can't forget Allison Fitzgerald, who has 22 digs. So all three starting defensive players for Villanova are in the double digits. Here's Orff right into the net. So Speckman put it a little bit close to the net, and Orff can't quite negotiate the tough angle. 19-17 Villanova. Amanda Peterson-Henry will sub out, and Ashley Knight will come in. Peterson-Henry has 3 of Villanova's 7 service errors on the evening, although both teams have tightened that up pretty significantly since the second half started. Speckman set up to Allie Barber, dug out. Darcy Wolf rears back. Speckman to Barber, blocked away. Barber tips it again. Oh, what a diving dig. Darcy Wolf manages to corral it. Speckman, setter dump. Villanova keeps it up. What wonderful defensive play. Speckman over to Barber, and she condenses the nonsense there. 19-18 Villanova.
What a phenomenal rally on both sides, just fighting so much effort to keep the ball alive. And Allie Barber finishes it off with a beautiful kill.
That was precisely the kind of rally that Marquette lost when they lost to Villanova in 5 sets. So that marathon rally might be a confidence booster for the Golden Eagles as they approach the stretch run of this match. Line drive over the net, dug out by Allman. Wolf off the block. Knavadov can't quite get to it. 20-18 Villanova. Darcy Wolf with kill number 8 of the match. It's her 3rd kill of the set. Emma Decker at the service line. 1 ace, 2 errors. Hawk with a pass tight to the net. And it's a Villanova point. Lift violation on the Golden Eagles. 21-18 Wildcats. And Ryan Tice wants to use his last timeout. Probably a good idea to keep this match from getting too out of hand.
Yeah, and concern has got to be approaching in the Marquette Golden Eagles' mind, especially after last match against Villanova. Had the 2-1 set lead, ended up going to a 5th set, which Villanova won. That thought's got to be creeping in the back of their mind. They don't want to let that happen again. They want to finish it right here in this 4th set.
Villanova won the 5th set against Marquette last time 15-9 through tenacious defensive play of the kind that we've seen so frequently from the Wildcats. Allison Fitzgerald, Sarah Allman, Reagan Lowe, and Remy Fairchild all in double-digit digs. Emma Decker, the setter, is 3 away. Marquette has some sterling defensive performances as well. Anna Hawk with 22 digs. Wow, a 20-20 game. 20 kills, 22 digs. I wonder when the last time that happened was. I will make sure to look that up. 13 digs from Lauren Speckman to go along with 48 assists. 11 digs from Madeline Mosier, and 11 from Martha Knavadov. So Villanova breaks their timeout. Maya Massenberg, Darcy Wolf, and Allie Olzanowski in the front row. Emma Decker back at the service line. Remy Fairchild and Allison Fitzgerald joining her back there. And for Marquette, Orff, Barber, Speckman in the front. Mosier, Hawk, Knavadov in the back.
And maybe the lineup shift, getting Speckman in the front, will allow her to get the set.
No, that's not what happened there. It's an ace. An ace from Emma Decker as Marquette stuck to look at each other and say, I thought you were supposed to get that one. We're 3 points away from going to a 5th set. Dunked down by Massenberg, but Marquette keeps it alive. Massenberg will try again. She catches the tape as kind of a circuitous route around the block. 23-18 Villanova. Wildcats have taken the last 4 points. This was 19-18 Villanova once upon a time. And Decker sends it long. Marquette has life yet as Decker commits her 3rd service error of the match. But the Golden Eagles still need to go on a little bit of a run from the service line, and they'll count on Allie Barber to do it. Barber's already swung 63 times. Decker set up to Darcy Wolf. For another swing, it's Olszanowski. Hawk is there. Over ball. Fairchild had to dive for it. Olszanowski didn't get all of it, but she got enough to get it by Lauren Speckman. 24-19 Villanova.
Yeah, Speckman makes the diving effort, just couldn't get enough of a touch on it to keep it alive.
Marquette needs 5 consecutive points to force a deuce. Back at the service line now, Reagan Lowe. Lowe doesn't have an ace on the evening. Speckman throws over to Hawk, and Lowe will be chased off the service line. Anna Hawk with kill number 21 on the evening. Elizabeth Orff will check out. Martha Konovadoff is in to serve. She needs 4 consecutive points to force a deuce. Here's Fairchild, deflected out of bounds, and Villanova will take set number 4. Remy Fairchild owned that set for the Wildcats. 7 of her 15 kills have come since halftime, and we will have a 5th set in the Al McGuire Center.
And I'm sitting here with a little bit of deja vu, Andrew. This reminds me a lot of last time.
So as the teams confer, there will be about a 2 or 3 minute stoppage in Martinez, the reserve defensive specialist, tosses the ball around a little bit for Marquette. The Golden Eagles will try to get loose and bounce the ball around as Coach Tice tries to figure out some kind of strategy this time. And for more, we will go over to our sideline reporter, John Steppe. John, what do you have for us?
Well, this is a bit of deja vu here for the Marquette Golden Eagles. Earlier this year, they were up 2-1 against the Wildcats, but then lost in a 5-set loss. But this is rather unfamiliar territory beyond this year. Entering this year, Marquette was 13-1 against the Wildcats. Back to you guys.
Marquette gearing up for this 5th set. They're 2-3 in 5-set matches, although their victory over number 20 Hawaii in its own building was a 5-set victory. Most recent 5-set match against Seton Hall was a win, but as we've continued to mention throughout the broadcast, the one that got away on this season was that game in the Wildcats building. Man, Chris, it's 5 sets, the last regular season match in the Al McGuire Center. Down to the wire in Big East volleyball. Does it get any better than this? Are we having fun yet?
It doesn't get any better than this, Andrew. We're having loads of fun. I think the fans here in the Al are having fun. I certainly am. And what a way to go out. Again, your last play-by-play. Couldn't ask much more than this, could you?
Man, I wanted this to be 5 sets. I really did. You know, I always say that volleyball is lit, and this match is proving it true 100%. What a great back and forth between both teams.
And Andrew, despite the fact that it's tied up at 2-2, Marquette actually has significantly more points because the sets they have won have been by a far greater margin than Villanova.
In the last match, in the 5th set, Villanova hit 320, Marquette a scant 0-5-0.
If my math is correct, Marquette has accumulated 95 points through these 4 sets, whereas Villanova is only at 76. They're outscoring them by 19 points.
By the way, Chris, another commonality between this match and the last one, Allie Barber and Anna Hawk have taken the lion's share of the swings so far. 103 of a total 158 swings from Marquette have gone to either Barber or Hawk. Last match against Villanova.
That could be a little bit of a disadvantage, perhaps, when the majority of the swings are going to the same few players. It kind of lets Villanova get an ability to read kind of what they're going to do. There's only so much variety you can have when you hit the ball.
It's another test for Marquette, a test that they failed the first time against the Wildcats. Can they pull it out this time? We are about to find out. It's Mosier, Hawk, and Rosenthal in the front row for the Golden Eagles. Speckman, Orff, and Geoffroy in the back, although one has to imagine Hawk will be coming out of the match, or excuse me, Orff will be coming out of the match for Konovatov pretty soon, as she will. And for Villanova, it's Olszanowski, Peterson, Henry, and Decker in the front. Fitzgerald, Fairchild, and Maya Massenberg in the back, although Massenberg will check out of the match in short order. So Reagan Lowe can check in. In case you're not familiar with the way volleyball works, the fifth set is to 15 points, not 25. It's win by 2, just like the other sets, and the teams will change sides once one side hits 8 points. And with that, here we go. Fairchild, can she continue her dominance? Not that time. Rosenthal and Mosier in on Marquette's 6th block of the match.
And a fifth set for all the marbles. Whoever scores that first point sure is a crucial momentum shift. There we go, Marquette.
Right at Reagan Lowe, and that's a service ace from Konovatov. So Marquette already starting this set a lot better than they did their last one. First ace of the evening for Konovatov.
There in the fifth set.
Her sister Sarah Konovatov is also a libero at Rosary High School. Volleyball kind of runs in the Konovatov family. Fairchild hits it high. Speckman setting it up high, and a Hawk cross-court kill. 22nd kill in the match for Anna Hawk.
Anna Hawk just continues her phenomenal performance.
Both teams still get 2 timeouts, even though the set is only to 15 points. Josh Steinbach decides he is going to use one of his right there.
Only a 3-0 lead, but that 3-0 lead is more significant in a fifth set when it's only to 15.
Although the way these two teams have traded punches, we've seen how quickly a 3-0 lead can evaporate. Villanova had a 3-0 lead in the 4th set, and Marquette counterpunched and scored the next 3 points. Now, albeit Villanova did take the set victory, but we've seen how little 3-4 point leads have mattered in this match. One thing the Golden Eagles always do to keep loose is they bat the ball around, the reserves do, near the blue part of the court. Just a way to keep people's arms and legs loose in case they need to be called upon. A couple players we haven't seen tonight from Marquette: Gabby Martinez, middle blocker Sandy Moore, Hope Wirch, who might be nursing an ailment, and of course Liza Kastrup, the freshman right side out of Dortmund, Germany.
Always thought that was really interesting with this team, Andrew. A lot of coaches you like to see have their whole team in the huddle. Coach Ryan Tice seems to have a different philosophy. He likes to keep his players loose.
Same lineup on the floor for Villanova. It's another ace for Konovatov. Man, Villanova thought that was going out. Elizabeth Orff is fired up on the sidelines, and as she should be, it's 4-0 Marquette. Another line drive serve right on top of Lowe. Fairchild has to bend that one back. It's blocked, but it's out of bounds. Mosier and Rosenthal were there. Villanova finally gets on the board. Checking in is Sarah Allman in relief of Ali Olszanowski. Allman has 1 ace on the evening. 2 errors to go along with it. Geoffroy is there. Set up for Rosenthal, directed that one right down onto the hands of Peterson-Henry. Fairchild, easy pass for Konovodov. Far pin to Hawk, and she finds the floor. Kill number 23. So Barber has 24 kills, and Anna Hawk has 23. Nobody else from Marquette has more than 9. Josh Steinbach talking things over with the referee. He has his green challenge card in hand. Not really sure what there is to challenge here.
There's an injury on the court, Andrew.
Oh, I didn't see that. From our vantage point, the Villanova players in their huddle are blocking the view. But we are going to take a quick stoppage in play as the trainer attends to the injured player. And while we do, Steinbach is going to turn in his green challenge flag. So it doesn't look like any challenge of the previous call is forthcoming as the injured player own power more or less with some help from Villanova's trainer. The Al McGuire Center crowd giving her a round of applause.
Always hate to see a player go down.
The Wildcats are challenging the previous play. They are challenging that the net violation occurred during the play. We'll go to review.
Turns out the Wildcats are challenging the play. They say that a net violation occurred on Marquette's side while the volley was in progress. So not much to challenge on the actual hit, but maybe they're saying that Jenna Rosenthal was in the net. Didn't see the net ripple at all.
I didn't catch it either, but she has been close quite a bit in this match. It'll be interesting to see what they find after this review.
If the call's overturned, it goes to 4-2 in favor of Marquette. And this will give the Wildcats some time to chat with each other. Chatting with the massive players on the Wildcats side. And in the meantime, all smiles for the Golden Eagles. Lauren Speckman keeping them loose. She has 51 assists. It's the 9th time in her career she's gone over 50 assists for a match.
How do these Marquette players stay so loose and calm in this situation? I've got butterflies in my stomach.
I don't know. I'm
over
sweating.
here.
I'm sweating profusely. I'm going to take the suit to the dry cleaners. The Golden Eagles still have the point. Call sustained. No net violation. 5-1 Marquette. Josh Steinbach still has 2 challenges left. So odds are pretty good that he can use either of them at any time he wants. Won't burn through them, especially with Marquette 10 points away from victory. Now Madeline out of Waterloo, Wisconsin. She has a career-high 10 kills last year against Santa Clara. This match she has only 4. Decker setting it up for Fairchild off the block. Speckman bumping it over her shoulder. Hawk down the line, out of bounds. 5-2 Marquette. Looked close to me, but Coach Tice does not have any of his challenges left. So Villanova is going to capture the initiative here. Remy Fairchild back to serve. End over end. Speckman with a hop serve. That Rosenthal attack deflected. She had to kind of twist her hand around to get to it. And Hawk goes off the high hands and down. Immediately redeeming her error with a kill. 24 on the day for Hawk. 6-2 Golden Eagles. Now Allie Barber checking back in. Manon Geoffroy will take a seat. Fairchild receives it. Peterson-Henry with a throw out of bounds. 7-2 Marquette, and it's Villanova's 18th error on the day as opposed to only 15 for Marquette. For the Golden Eagles, and there will be a miniature intermission as the teams change sides. But before that can happen, it's a timeout for Villanova. Josh Steinbach doesn't have any left. And one has to wonder whether he would have wanted to save that timeout for later, especially since an intermission's probably coming up very soon when Marquette scores another point.
Yeah, that's a good point, Andrew. But I would say at this point, only so much time, only so many points left in this match. Might want to use your timeout before it's too late.
The Golden Eagles have dominated this set so far. They're hitting 333 as opposed to Villanova, who's hitting negative 167. Golden Eagles hitting 329 for the match. Villanova hitting 129. Excuse me, 193. I was looking at the wrong number there. Sorry, folks. Decker throwing it to the far side. It's Darcy Wolf out of bounds. The cross-court attack goes high. 8-2 Golden Eagles, and this is almost a mirror reversal of the way the fifth set went in these two teams' first match.
And you called it, Andrew, with that intermission so soon after. Makes you question if that timeout was really necessary by Steinbach.
Well, the two sides will resume play almost right away, so maybe Steinbach wouldn't have even had time to conference with his team. This one's set for Wolf. Hawk is there. Speckman setting to Allie Barber, blocked away. Mosier saves it, though. Fitzgerald keeps it alive for Villanova. Peterson-Henry blocked by Rosenthal. And Marquette will get credit for the point. Double contact on Villanova. The Golden Eagles are running riot in the fifth set.
And what a block there from Rosenthal. She didn't have time to really set it up. It was maybe just a reaction block, just leaping up with the quick reaction. Jenna Rosenthal.
Fairchild with a tip kill. 9-3 Golden Eagles. Double substitution coming for Villanova. Reagan Lowe and Amanda Peterson-Henry check out. Maya Massenberg and Ashley Knight are subbed in. Knight wasting no time, getting right to serving. Speckman outside to Barber. Wolf is there. Fairchild into the net. That's another error for Remy Fairchild. Her 6th of the day. That's second on Villanova, only to Amanda Peterson-Henry's 8. 10-3 Golden Eagles.
Golden Eagles have got to be feeling good. 7-point lead, only 5 to go to win this match, but they've got to stay composed.
Decker, setter dump. Keeping it alive, but not for long. Rosenthal and Speckman had a little bit of a miscommunication. Villanova still has a ways to go, but that was a nice setter dump. Knight will check out for Ali Olzanowski. Here's Decker. Speckman ranging back. Ali Barber out of bounds. Long by just a couple centimeters. Not sure how the ref even saw that one. That was going so fast, but it's 10-5 Golden Eagles. Villanova's captured the last 2 points. Barber again, out of bounds. 2 straight errors for Allie Barber, and Villanova's clawing their way back into the set. Ryan Tice wants a timeout. That's his first of the set. 10-6 Marquette.
Yeah, a little uncomfortable for Marquette. Villanova not giving up just yet. They're going on a little bit of a run before it gets any closer. Ryan Tice taking the time to talk to his team, telling them to settle down. He knows they've got this. They're a confident bunch. They know that they can win this one. We'll see what happens in a short while.
You have to compliment the scrappiness and tenacity of this Villanova squad. The Golden Eagles romped them in the first set, 25-14. Then they come back and win a set with a couple of different match points, or excuse me, set points. Then in the third set, the Golden Eagles beat them even worse, 25-10, and Villanova comes right back. They're like the Villanova horror movie. Every time you think they're dead, they come right back.
Yeah, these Wildcats have no sense of quit in them. They just keep coming back, and they make Marquette work for every point. Their defense in moments and in stretches has been exceptional tonight.
After this match, the only one Marquette has left on its regular season docket is on Saturday, November 18th at 1 p.m., an afternoon tilt against the DePaul Blue Demons. Villanova still has to host Creighton and Providence in its last homestand. The Blue Jays wrapped up the Big East regular season title with a win last night. Speckman ranging back for that one. Low set for Barber. Fitzgerald's there. Villanova's blunted Allie Barber's attacks for the last couple. Kanavidov, Speckman, over to Barber. Fitzgerald can't quite get the elbows around. 11-6 Marquette. Allie Barber bounces back from her 2 consecutive errors. She has swung her arm 69 times on the night. Decker over to Olszanowski. Blocked, but it still falls down on Marquette's side. Allie Olszanowski rings that one up. Number 4 on the evening.
Back and forth we go.
Now back at the line. Michelle Matthews, first time we've seen her tonight. Mosier off the block and out of bounds. Matthews checking out just as quickly as she entered. 12-7 Marquette. Now Allie Barber back to serve. By the way, lest you think Allie Barber's 69 attack attempts is some kind of record, 89 is the Marquette mark. Autumn Bailey did it in a match against Seton Hall. Decker over to Olszanowski. Speckman keeps it alive. Joust at the net. Olszanowski wins it for Villanova. Wonderful effort from Speckman, though. 12-8 Marquette. As Barber checks out of the match, Manon Geoffroy will check in. So Marquette's best attacker on the bench. If Villanova is going to make a move, this would be the time. Fitzgerald just over the net. Kanavidov with a nice pass. Mosier off the block to the floor. 13-8 Golden Eagles. And Marquette can smell their 14th conference victory, just 2 points away. Back on the line to deliver it is Martha Kanavidov. To Decker, up to Peterson. Henry, she smokes it through the defense. And Allie Olszanowski is back to serve, the sophomore from New Orleans, Louisiana. She doesn't have any aces or errors on the year. She hardly ever serves. But here she goes. Pretty good one there. Speckman, Rosenthal out of bounds. A mistimed hit. It's 13-10 now. Villanova making this a little bit more threatening than Marquette wants. Hawk on the attack. Out of bounds. Off the block. That's a Marquette point. Decker and Peterson. Henry couldn't get there. It's 14-10 Golden Eagles. And Madeline Mosier is back to potentially deliver the match.
The fans are on their feet here at the Al McGuire Center.
She has 1 ace and 2 errors. And she just added a third. Villanova needs 3 points in a row to force a deuce. Remy Fairchild on the line. Speckman up to Rosenthal on the slide, and it's over. The Golden Eagles win a hard-fought match. And Jenna Rosenthal delivers her 10th kill of the evening. Marquette moves to 28-8 overall, 14-3 in Big East play. Wow, what a performance.
What a hard-fought match on both sides. Got to give credit to Villanova. They came out here, they played hard. They were diving all over the place, so much effort from both teams. And this one's got to feel extra special from Marquette after Villanova handed them their first Big East loss earlier this season. They felt like they came out with something to prove, and they proved that.
Well, I can't be alone in hoping that somehow, some way, Marquette and Villanova find a way to play again in the Big East tournament because, oh boy, that was fun.
Yeah, this has turned into a bit of a rivalry this year, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Marquette moving to 20-8 overall, 14-3 in the Big East. Villanova falling down to 16-11 overall, 9-7 in Big East play. It's about time to get you all some post-game stats as the Marquette volleyball team jogs around the court to thank their home fans. Anna Hawk and Allie Barber tied for the team lead with 25 kills. Hawk doing it on 45 swings, Allie Barber doing it on 69 swings. Hawk led the team in hitting percentage with 444. Meanwhile, on Villanova's side, Remy Fairchild led the way with 17 kills. Amanda Peterson-Henry, the junior middle blocker, just behind her with 12. The team hit 318 for the match, Marquette did. Villanova hit 193. As we look at the digs, Anna Hawk led the Golden Eagles with 23, although 3 other players joined her in double digits. Lauren Speckman with 14, Martha Konovadoff with 13, and Madeline Mosier with 11. And for Villanova, Allison Fitzgerald led the way with 25, Sarah Allman at 13, and Reagan Lowe and Remy Fairchild each chipped in 12. But for now, the Golden Eagles are winners in 5 sets. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the Marquette Wire fall sports season as far as our TV broadcasts are concerned. I would like to thank all of our production crew, especially Matt Unger and Tom Hillmeyer, for being the straw that stirs the drink on these broadcasts. Dan O'Keefe, Mallory Winkler, Tara Schumel, Phil Pinarski. They all did wonderful work to make sure we got on the air and stayed on the air. Thank you to everyone who volunteered for the broadcast, everybody who watched and listened, and for me, for my final volleyball broadcast as a student. Thank you to the athletic staff, especially Megan O'Shea, for giving us a lot of access and the ability to do these broadcasts. Thank you to all the volleyball players who took their time to talk with all of us for stories and various sideline reports. And of course, most of all, thanks to my parents for tuning in.